Hello there, guys, and welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. On one of the most frustrating and annoying and devastating days I think most of us have seen as Chelsea fans. Obviously, you can think back to we lost the FA Cup final literally a year ago, but if it was different, I don't know, it felt different today. Today stings real hard. Today stings real hard, real bad. It's not fun. Of course, as you can see, it's not your usual host of the phone, and it's myself, Laurenz. You might know me from the live reviews, right? So that's me. I'm here today because obviously Lewis was at the game, and we slightly reshuffled things, so there wasn't a live review as such. So I was like, let me host the phone-in show. Let me do that. That's what you're here for today. And if you're watching and you want to come on and have your say, the Patreon link is down in the description below. And of course, subscribe to not Blues Fans TV anymore, Chelsea Fan TV if you haven't already. Smash that like button. Use the super chat function if you want to have your say another way. And of course, check out my personal channel, to which the link is down in the description below. I have just hit 10,000 subscribers, which is brilliant, but that doesn't mean we stop there. So go there and subscribe. And honestly, what a tough day. I mean, Tuchel got it wrong, in my opinion. Tuchel got it very wrong. I'll get your guys' thoughts, very soon. But Tuchel got it very wrong today. Why did Alonso start over Ben Chilwell? You can certainly make a case for why did Kepa start over Edouard Mendy. I mean, not that Kepa did anything wrong as such, but Mendy is just a lot taller. And someone that's a lot taller would have saved that goal by Yuri Tielemans. So, but the players, they just didn't look bothered again. They just didn't look bothered again. And like people always say, you don't ruin momentum. And what we did against Arsenal on Wednesday, by rotating as much as we did, by sending the wrong message to the team, we ruined our own momentum. And then today things went against us, which we haven't had in a little while because we've been winning most games. We haven't had it in a little while that the momentum went against us this badly. A screamer of a goal. Yes, Mendy might save it, but still a screamer of a goal. Leicester's only shot on target was a screamer from 35 yards or so. Or 30 yards, whatever you want to call it. While Chelsea, on the other hand, Kasper Schmeichel made two outrageous saves. One from a Ben Chilwell header, one from a Mason Mount volley. And then the offside, which was offside by that much. He is offside, right? The problem just is that cameras aren't good enough to actually see when the ball leaves Jorginho's foot. So how do we know when the ball actually left Jorginho's foot? He is even offside, because the picture that they showed everywhere, the ball's about that big, because there's a blur, because frames don't just work that way, right? So everything just went against us today, but we didn't help ourselves because we didn't feel the strongest team. Realistically, we didn't. And a lot of players just had really, really bad days. Rudiger, Jorginho, Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech, even Mount, even Kante, Aspie, and not to mention Alonso, of course. But do we expect more from Alonso? Probably not. It's a tough one, guys. It's a really, really, really tough one. And then we make subs, but we make them too late. 68 minutes. 68 minutes. I know we didn't concede much earlier than that, but still, waited too long. Waited way too long. And then it just wasn't to be at the end, and it's a frustrating night. And I'm just really, really hoping that this type of defeat doesn't hit real hard, real bad on the players, because we have 3 huge games coming up. We play Leicester again in the Premier League, which is an absolute must-win, arguably more of a must-win than today was, because, as much as people don't like to hear it, because finals are finals, top 4, we need to have top 4, just in case we lose the Champions League final. Is it laggy? Can anyone tell me if it's laggy? Because it seems to be laggy on my end right now, which is unfortunate, but yeah, let me know if I'm laggy. Let me know if I'm laggy, please, in the chat. We have a super chat here. I get you guys obviously in the waiting room already. I get you guys involved in just a second's time. John with the super chat saying, congrats on 10K sub. Appreciate that a lot. Saying, heads up, United fan here. Rooting for you guys for the Champions League. Take it away. Fair enough. Yeah. I'm not sure how much you're going to salvage our me tonight, but I appreciate the kind words, my bro. I appreciate them. Again, fine for you. Appreciate that, Chelsea FC, But yeah, before I get you guys in, let me quickly play the clip for OneFootball. Download the OneFootball app with the link down in the description, guys.
Yes, guys, this video is sponsored by OneFootball. Check it out. The link is down in the description below. OneFootball is the most reliable app you can have for all footballing news regarding any team in Europe, be it club football, be it international football. The one place you can go for the most reliable football news is the OneFootball app. So, guys, check it out. The link is down in the description below. Check out all sorts of news regarding your favourite club. Check out the Transfer Indicator app on OneFootball to check out the reliability of it. But check out the OneFootball app, the most reliable app for your footballing news. It's down in the description below. Check it out, guys.
There we are. I'm going to get the first guest involved to have his say. Of course, again, guys, if you're watching this and you want to have your say, you want to have a chat, the Patreon link to make that happen is down in the description below, and all the instructions you will find there. Let me go with Father first, or should I go with the in order? But I know Father the most, so I think I'm going to go with Father most. So, I haven't done a phone-in show, so maybe Father can help me, find the flow. My bro.
No, I'm drenched. I'm drenched. I can't lie. I was at the game as well. Oh, but yeah, I'm survived. Finally, I'm survived. That was the worst, arguably the worst performance ever. Literally, everyone's that has played on that pitch has to be held accountable. I feel in the first half, yeah, we were good. As always, we wasted chances. The link-up play with Timo Werner wasn't that bad, but still wasted a lot of chances. Hakim Ziyech as well. I think Hakim Ziyech was poor today in that first half. But all in all, we did okay. But in that second half, we looked capitulated. I have no idea how, but for me, somehow, the mentality in this team has got to be questioned.
It does. I'll hit you with a stat. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet. Obviously, you were at the game, right?
Yeah.
Timo Werner was dispossessed more times today than he completed successful passes. He was dispossessed 11 times and completed 9 passes. That's the stat I saw on Twitter. If that's wrong, blame Twitter, not me. Wow, what stat?
God almighty. Right. I'm gonna be straight and point finger honest here, because I know everyone's been waiting for my defensive on Timo Werner. If I'm being straightforwardly honest, he was poor in that second half. I can't lie. The only thing that might annoying about Timo Werner a lot by some of you guys, maybe I would say the lack of awareness around him. Whenever he stays on side, whenever he stays offside, he doesn't know which, And not only that, I think our front three has been poor also today. It feels like somehow that game against Arsenal, it come back bite us in the arse again, just because for me, yeah, the defeat against Arsenal was more of a blip. We made a mistake. Fine. After that, we lose. We trying to get a goal back against Arsenal. Okay, we take the L. But I feel this game is more the fact that, you know what, it's a cup final. And what happened last season after the drama with the Anthony Taylor taxing that, the VAR, the decision that's not gone our way, suddenly it's like a deja vu all over again. But what I will say, I feel like some of our team in this lineup, including the one that came on today, I feel like their sense of losing their identity a bit on how to win games when it matters the most, especially in the cup final.
It's tough, isn't it? Because it felt like they weren't really bothered and they didn't really work and they didn't really try and whatever. But how much of the blame tonight do you put on Tuchel? How unhappy were you with the team selection? And if people, just a reminder quickly, let me get it up here. That was, of course, the lineup that we went with today. Obviously, hindsight is a beautiful thing, right? I know that. We know that. But what would you have done differently, at least now, if you look back at it?
For the goalkeeping part, he made it very clear that in the couple of weeks ago, prior to this final, he made his intention very clear that he only start Kepa during the cup games, not the Premier League games that we needed him. And I feel that today the slating around Kepa, I think, is a bit out of order. I would say, yes, I understand he could have saved it or not, but on hindsight, in a cup final like this with the magnitude, I think he could have gone on with Mendy. I have no idea. He left Mendy on the bench. We need Mendy to win it because Mendy, for me, has been arguably one of the best goalkeepers in this team for this season. And in that front three, I don't really like rotate a lot of, do much of a rotation in that front three because the chemistry of it a bit missing somehow. Because if you look at the Arsenal game, we've got the front three of Mount, Pulisic, and Havertz. And if you want to compare it to this game, you've got the likes of Mount, Ziyech, and Werner. So the chemistry hasn't got there yet, And I feel in the low block against a low block opponent, yeah. As much as I hate to say this, but Tuchel's got to be, willing to take a risk. I would put where's Kovacic today? Is he on the bench? Can I see the lineup again though?
Of course.
Oh my God, there's no Kovacic. I'm surprised. I thought
Kovacic and Christensen weren't in the squad, and I don't know whether he was almost telling us lies yesterday and they weren't fit, or what the reasoning behind them not being in the squad was. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea, bro.
Honestly, I would put Kovacic in that team straight away. If he said that yesterday, I suppose. Again, man, do you want to take a risk or not? Like in the cup final, like which one do you prefer? Top four, the cup final.
You asking me? Top four. Because, and like I said in the intro, I'm not sure if you listened, but
yeah,
if and touch wood, fingers crossed, everything we don't. If we lose the Champions League final, it's much more important to have top four to fall back on and still be in the Champions League next season than having won an FA Cup or not. The problem with losing today is that we lost another final, and we're creating a bit too much of a habit of losing finals. That's a problem.
So you want top
four is still more important for me personally, but I understand that some people have different opinions.
Yeah, I understand that. I think you mentioning about top four. I think you meant that top four. You want top four first as an insurance policy in case we have the Champions League final. So I think top four to secure first, and then the Champions League final as an insurance policy. But if he put on Kovacic today, it could have been a different game. I can't lie. Jorginho was poor today also.
He was. But I think it's easy to just scapegoat and pick out individuals, whether it's like Jorginho. I mean, the ball to Chile for the goal when Chile was offside, that was Jorginho's pass. If he isn't offside there, we're saying, oh, what an unbelievable ball by Jorginho. It's one of those. And the Kepa thing, like you said, Kepa can't and shouldn't be blamed for being too short. I mean, it's not his fault that he's short, right? Let's be honest. But someone put it in the chat a minute ago. If Mendy is in goal, chances are Tielemans doesn't even try the shot in the first place because he knows there's a very tall goalkeeper in goal. So scoring a long shot is even less likely. How many long shots? How many long shots has Mendy saved? Faced, not saved. How many long shots has he faced? I don't think anyone. Yeah, no, sure, but really long shots like today. I don't think ever since Mendy played all season, any player tried a shot from as far out as Tielemans did today. I don't think a single one even tried.
No, not really. Not that much, but I'm still annoying that it still went in, but still. I feel that there's a lot of, different set of opinions about the agenda thing about Kepa. Again, it's people's opinions. If they want to have an opinion that Kepa was at fault today, that's fine. So, because what I look at our fan base, especially, we all know the fan base of Chelsea. Some of them are very fickle. They could go at someone at a certain point of time, at a certain point of match, if he doesn't perform really well. And this is the case today with Kepa. in that it's not only, like Zion said in the chat, we don't, if you look at from the overall, when I looked at everyone in that pitch, literally, because I was literally really close in that pitch, I looked at everyone. Everyone looked like, what on earth is going on in this team? It feels like the mentality, is it gone? I can't remember what is it, but it feels like the Leicester 2-0 Chelsea back in January all over again. But yeah, I just think today, like, everyone has to be accountable today, including Tuchel. And sad to say, that's the first of our 2 cup finals that's lost. And what we can do now is just to focus on the top 4 on Tuesday. And Tuchel's got to try something out on the game against Leicester again on Tuesday, because after the defeat today, I assume Tuchel's going to want to go back to his drawing board, analyze it, tactic, how it went wrong in that second half, and also how we can nullify Leicester for over 9 minutes in the Tuesday, because arguably now I think the Tuesday game is a much bigger game than the cup final today.
You can make that case. I suppose it's a tough one. I mean, ideally, you'd want to win both, right? And you know, you can see how devastated all of us are today. We wanted to win. We wanted to win. Obviously, you were at the ground. How was the atmosphere in the ground? Was how was it in terms of, I don't know, how loud were the fans? Was it good? Was the atmosphere good? Like, even at the start of the game when it was 0-0 and stuff. How was it?
Yeah, the atmosphere was kind of feel like the FA Cup final back in the. Remember when we went to FA Cup final, the 2018 one, when we had Conte season? It's kind of the same vibe as that one. But I will say right now, this is a serious note. I'm going to attack the fan base earlier because I heard the fan base booing the players for taking a knee. That's not right.
What the fans booed the players for taking the knee?
Yes, they are.
That's ridiculous. Was it? Would you? But I hope not the majority of fans, just a few. Just
a few, but I literally on my right, I can see a lot of boos on the far side. I can see a lot, a little bit, a few boos, not much, but yeah, most of the fan base that booing are literally beside me, because I was sitting by the corner flag and that. And that's not right. That's not right at all.
Absolutely isn't right. Absolutely isn't right. As the last question before I get Karan, sorry if I butchered your name, bro. Do you think the result today will have any sort of effect on the Champions League final in terms of the squad? Just, I don't know, in terms of just this, that they will start crumbling. Do you know that it will be just that they lose belief in themselves because we lost this final, we lost a final against Leicester, who, let's face it, are a significantly worse team than Manchester City.
Psychologically, yes. If you ask me again, do I think this with this performance can beat City? Of course not. If it did, you bite me in the hands off. And you got to question some of our players' mentality as well, man. Like I said, and Mason Mount has been in the 2 cup finals. He's lost. Reece James has been in 2 cup finals. He's lost as well. Pulisic has been in the 2 cup finals. He's lost. So some of our players still lacking that, little bit of tweaking the button how to win games. That.
Well, I mean, there's a lot more than that, right? There's a lot more. I mean, did Alonso start last season? He probably did.
I think he probably did as well.
Yeah, Rudiger did. Right? Rudiger did. Jorginho did. Kante did.
But yeah, I don't know.
Obviously, Kante won the 2018 one, sure.
This is deeper and hard to explain, and this kind of topic will go on and on before the game on Tuesday. And I just hope, again, I know some of the players really frustrating the performance, but you know what? on a grand scheme of things, let's just go back to the drawing board and then let's just get the game on Tuesday on our way, because I feel that Leicester are going to be on a party mode still after the FA Cup win today.
100%. Anything else you want to add before I get Karan on? Or
No. I'm just going to dip right now, man, because I'm really drenched right now. I'm tired as well, and those stairs at Wembley killing. Even though we had back in the day like a Rams up steep Rams in the past, but honestly, that stairs killing me, man. But yeah, I'm knackered right now.
All right, Father, appreciate you coming on as always. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Forza Ferrari.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring Karen on in just a second. Again, if you want to join the obviously the phone in, do check out the Patreon link down in the description below to get involved. And of course, if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. So make sure you smash the like button, at least cheer us up a little bit. You know, it's been a tough day, whether you're an Arsenal fan who's trying to take the piss, or a Leicester fan, or whatever you are, or a Chelsea fan, of course, smash that like button, cheer us up. And of course, if you want to get your thoughts on, but not exactly jump on the phone in, do use the super chat function. That would be brilliant. Karan,
it's your... Laurenz, how are you doing, man?
I'm very good. First of all, please tell me how I pronounce your name correctly.
It's Karan.
Well, I wasn't too far off then, was I?
Wasn't too far off. You're good, buddy. You're good.
There you go. Now, first of all, how are you? Let me ask you, how are you aside from the fact that we lost an FA Cup final today? And then we get to talking about the game.
Good. I mean, overall good. Listen, football is just a microcosm of the larger things we do in life. But obviously, if your team wins, it brightens up your day. But even if you lose, I mean, I try to distract myself from the fact that we lost. But coming to the game, Leicester didn't create much. We were good defensively. But then again, my only question is, why was nobody closing down Tielemans for that shot? Why did he have so much time and space to shoot the ball the way he did? And why do Chelsea players not take such shots from outside the box? Why are we seeing Rudiger smash like 20-30 yards from outside the box? What about Ziyech? What about Mount? What about Werner? All of these guys are pretty good shooters, even Havertz for that matter.
Well, to be fair, Werner did try. He just put it about 20 yards over the goal.
Yeah, and again, like, I know a lot of people defend Werner. I know Fathur also is a big fan of Werner. Listen, I was really excited to see him come in and succeed. And yeah, I know he has been doing well in his stats, but his stats are basically empty calories. What is he scoring? What has he been doing that has been significant to the club? I'd rather him score one goal the entire season, which would be a Champions League final goal that would help us lift the cup, rather than him have like 20 goals in games that are like of not that great significance. I get it. I mean, yeah, he works hard and everything, and he does a lot of off-the-ball work as well. I get all of that. But
I mean, to be fair, he scored in the Champions League semi-final.
It was a tap-in. I would have rather had Havertz.
Sure, but someone had to tap in.
I mean, yeah, fine. But again, he has had like about 18 or 20 missed chances this entire season.
100%.
See, I mean, like, so it's really frustrating to see that. And why was also Alonso starting? I don't get that. I think Chilwell did so much better when he came on in the second half. Maybe you should have started with Chilwell. And man, it's players. I don't know if you were there during the Arsenal call-in or whatever, but I'd mentioned the fact that the next few games would actually be a test of players' mentality and their grit. And we are starting to see now that there seems to be some sort of a mentality issue with these players right now. Like, second final in a row, as Fathur even mentioned, for a lot of these players, like, there really needs to be something that needs to be looked at. I don't think it would matter even if there was Sir Alex Ferguson, or even if it was Johan Cruyff who was managing the club right now, managing the team right now. Like, until and unless the players are turned on in the game. Why did it take for them to score a goal before we actually started becoming urgent? The way we started our second half was horrible. It was so slow, so like pathetic. And man, I mean, it took a wonder strike for them to break us down, because clearly none of the teams were either creating enough or defensively both the teams were so tight that nobody could, like, come into the box and try to create a goal. And I'm just disappointed at that. Why, like, and in games like this, right, in cup final games like this, right, you cannot take the opposition lightly. I know a lot of people were like favouring Chelsea to win, I was not actually sure how the game would go. Because in these one-off games, you don't know. The teams play. Some players would just turn up on that day. You could have Wigan, you could have Swansea, you could have any of these other clubs. They would just show up because it's such a big occasion for them. And another thing I was disappointed by was the Chelsea fans were not making any noise inside Wembley. All the time in commentary as well, like everything that commentators were saying was that, okay, yeah, the atmosphere is great, but Leicester fans are really turning it up. It's it just breaks my heart to see it go this way. Like, and again, it had to be Arsenal that put a speed breaker to our progress this season, like they did early in the season as well. The moment we lost the game against them, everything went downhill after that.
It did.
And it's same things happening right now. Like, you can see that I don't think it would matter who the manager is. The players really need to take a look at themselves and be like, okay, yeah, we really need to be turned on for these big games. Like, we cannot be scared or frightened of anything of the occasion. I was also concerned about the fact that having fans in the stadium after so long, a lot of these players have not had them. Would that affect their mentality? Would that affect the way they are playing? Would it make them nervous or scared? I don't know if that played a factor into this, but the players know the answer better than themselves. I'm just saying what I thought was the case.
Yeah, it's a tough one because obviously Leicester were in the same position, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
For me, the really frustrating thing and confusing thing was, there was an interview with Ben Chilwell a couple of days before the game, right? And he literally said this is the one game he really, really wants to win, right? And he said his low point so far this season was when we lost against Leicester, because obviously they're his former club, right? And he made this move and he really wants, to kind of prove that it was a good decision. So, and then you don't start one of the guys where you could have been most sure that they were going to turn up and at least try hard. Yeah. And you start someone like Alonso who, even when he tries hard, he's slower than a bloody snail. So that kind of decision by Tuchel really confused me. Obviously, people that are now talking about Tuchel, blah, 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 get in the bin, right?
That is a bit too much. That is, I think, really an emotional reaction to something. And again...
Well, that or just trolls, do you know what
I mean? To be honest, am I concerned about the Champions League and the top four? Yes. Would I sack Tuchel if we got neither? Honestly, no, because what he has done he's only done it in 19, 20 games. And the thing is, right, the coach or the manager can get you to the final. But it's you who has to play the final.
Yeah.
It doesn't, even if Alonso is playing, dude, show up for the game. The manager chose you over somebody who was an ex-player of the club, and he will be way more motivated than you would be. It's on you to show up. The manager is putting his faith in you to show up for a big game. Fucking show up. And with Alonso, he has always been a defensive liability. He's excellent when it comes to attack, no doubt. But that man, since the day he signed for the club, has always been a defensive liability. I have never had faith with him on the flank, and if the opposition has somebody who's pretty fast on the other end, I have zero faith in Alonso to cover back up. And he also makes defensive errors even when he's in the box. I am scared when there's a one-on-one in the box because I always feel that he'll end up conceding a penalty. Chilwell could have started, and yeah, people are blaming would Kepa have saved? Should Kepa have saved or not? It's easy to blame Kepa, and the manager came out and said that, oh yeah, I'll be starting Kepa because he's sort of been the keeper for the cup games. Should he have started Mendy? Yes, he should. He could have. He should have. It's a debate for another day. But my bigger concern is why was Tielemans given so much space, and why was nobody closing him down to the point where at least they could have deflected his shot or could have just taken.
I can tell you that very comfortably because they didn't expect him to shoot.
But that doesn't mean that you give the player that much space, right, to do anything.
Oh no, of course, but obviously we lost the ball in transition, right? So the ball was deflected from Reece James out ball. Whether you think it's handball or not, as far as I understood the rules and as far as other,
that should have been a handball. If you're giving that a handball, then that shouldn't have been an offside either. I don't know, man. VAR has been such a fuck up, such a screw up this entire season in so many ways. I don't even know what's handball anymore in the game. Because there have been more ridiculous calls where, it has been an absolutely accidental handball and they have given that. in a lot of the Premier League games that I remember, in some of the other matches, like, there have been handballs where the ref has clearly said, okay, where the commentator has clearly said that, how is that a handball? Even I have been left scratching my head as to how was that given a handball, and they've given it, and then today they didn't give it of all days. You could say that, yeah, we were not lucky enough. Maybe, yeah, the football gods were not in our favor, but I don't know. The players need to have a look into their mentality to see what is up with them. Because, again, the next few games are really vital, really important, and they all are big games. They better show up for those. We have to beat Leicester the next game. I think West Ham drew today, so that helps us a little bit.
It does, even though they only got a late equaliser as well. It's a tough one. We have a super chat here, which we might quickly discuss, Karan, before I get your final thoughts on. Marcus saying VAR in the bin. No check for the handball before Tielemans shot. Then VAR calls Chilwell offside without the ref even going to check on the screen. Now, Marcus, what I am unaware of, and if someone has an explanation for this, please tell me. Just because the TV didn't tell us VAR checked it doesn't mean VAR didn't check it. Do you know what
Exactly.
I mean? They check everything, usually, right? And as for the offside, well, the referee never goes to check offside because that's like a computer decision almost. Like they draw a line and it's just a factual statement. The only problem with the whole, like I said in the intro, the only problem with the offside is that the camera frame doesn't actually stop exactly where the ball leaves Jorginho's foot. Thiago Silva's foot, my bad. So you can't, like, maybe they should have stopped it a split second earlier. Would he have been onside then? I don't know. But
Laurenz,
VAR
correct me on this with regards to VAR. I do know that in case if there's an offside or something, they usually go check the screen. But for fouls, they sometimes do or do not check the TV, right? Isn't that the thing? Like sometimes for handballs, I don't know if they actually go up and check the TV. They just usually wait for the call to come from the London headquarters to say whether it should be given as a handball.
That's usually what it is for offside because the referee obviously doesn't have the tools to draw the lines, right? So that's why that is the case. But Karan, do you have any last thoughts, or shall we take Zion? Tell me in a minute.
These players have to show up for the next 3 games, man. I mean, I can imagine City would just be licking their lips right now. That, oh my God, like this team is completely mentally fragile. They can clearly see that the players are mentally fragile. I don't know how much can people talk about the manager because it's on the players at the end of the day to perform. The manager picks you. You go out there on the pitch and perform. Yes, you can say that, oh, we could have selected him, he should have selected that. But even regardless of that, you have to go out there and perform. End of it. And hopefully we beat Leicester on Tuesday, I think, is when Chelsea is playing them, if I'm correct.
On Tuesday, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's hope we go and beat them because
we need to. We absolutely have to.
This season can completely turn around for us.
It can be. Karan, I appreciate you coming on. I'll talk to you soon.
Laurenz. Thanks. Bye.
Hello there, Zion. You again, tell me how I pronounce your name, and I hope I didn't butcher it too much. Let me know how you're feeling, bro.
It's Zion, bro. Just don't worry about it. To be honest with you, I don't really care. That performance is just, I mean, to be honest, I don't know what to say. I have no words. I mean, 2 finals we've been back-to-back, and both of them have just been abysmal. I mean, just to forget about, let's be real. I mean, let me just start with the lineup. When I saw that lineup, I wasn't surprised. Because I wasn't surprised at the lineup. I mean, most people will be, but I wasn't, because I knew he was gonna play Kepa in goal. Because I think he said that a couple of weeks before the final.
Yeah, no, he said that.
Yeah. So, and obviously he said Kante will start regardless as well. So I wasn't surprised with those 2, but I wasn't even surprised with the entire lineup because I knew Rudiger would be back in it. But the one thing that did surprise me was that Reece James was playing in that right centre back role when they first started. That was the biggest surprise for me. And they saw Azpilicueta on the right wing back role. Apparently, Tuchel put Reece James there, from what I'm guessing, to match up with Vardy. So it basically matched strength for strength, pace for pace. But it worked. Don't get me wrong, it did work. Because Vardy really didn't have nothing in the game really to sniff at. So fair play to Reece James for doing that. But we saw how much we missed him on that right-hand side. We saw today the crosses. There was just nothing there. It was absolutely awful. I mean, from minute 1, I think the second half, we left it too late. I mean, let's be real. I think when we came, alive, when the substitution came on, we left it too late. I think it was just too late. I mean, I just don't think even regardless if that goal had gone in. And let's not slander Kepa here. I mean, to be honest with you, if Mendy was there, possibly he could have saved it. Possibly. But I mean, a shot like that, I don't even think possibly Donnarumma with his height probably could have not saved it. You don't know how much power is on that shot. Let's be real. So, I think the plan was to get shots outside the box to worry Kepa, because we know Kepa isn't great when it comes to shot stopping from outside the box. Inside, yes, you can probably he's there and there, but outside, because of his height, he's not going to get there, and his reaction isn't great. So, I think Rodgers, what a manager. What a manager he's so far been this season for Leicester. I mean, what a team Leicester have been. Aside from what Chelsea have done, but what a team Leicester have been. So, congratulations to them, because they deserve today's win. They deserve the cup, because we didn't just turn up.
But did they turn up, considering they had one shot on target all game?
Yes, I look at that as well, and I said, you know what? But if you think about it, though, you might say that, but they took their chance. But we didn't. When we had chances, we just didn't do that.
Or their goalkeeper made 2 incredible saves and ours didn't.
Well, there you go. There's the difference between Kepa of 72 million than Schmeichel, who's 30-something, and making saves like that. It just, there you see it. There you see. I mean, that Mount volley, when I saw him hit it, I said, I was screaming. I was like, oh, that's gone in, that's gone in. But when I saw the save and the replay, I'm like, oh, my Lord. There you go. It just shows like fine margins of the game. Like, our team is worth how much? Plus over like 300, 400 million. Theirs is 100 and something only. It just shows their recruitment. We just buy any player that's out in the market. Let's be real. Timo Werner, not to disrespect the guy, scored 40 goals in the Bundesliga, I think 30 goals last season. Cheap on the market. Let's get him. I don't think we did research about him. Let's be real. We saw him in the market. Havertz, no one was going after him. Oh, let's just pay Leverkusen 72 million and get him, because he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, he will be a good player, but it's just the mentality. We want to get players that are ready to go and win trophies, but these players need time. New league, they're young and they need time, but it's just some of these players that they just don't have that winning mentality. I mean, Alonso, how many times are we going to see this guy in the starting lineup? He was getting absolutely demolished on that left-hand side. Every time Leicester had the ball, they were targeting that left-hand side for Alonso, because they know that he hasn't got the pace to run. I mean, Toby,
he doesn't. Do you have a reaction to Owen Super Chat here, who said, boggled my mind why Thomas Tuchel didn't swap Reece and Aspie round after the goal. Reece needed to go right wing back when we were chasing the game. I mean, eventually, obviously, he brought Callum Hudson-Odoi on, but you can certainly make a case that immediately once we conceded, that maybe he should have done so. What do you think about that?
I mean, to be honest, I think he should. Why have he started Aspilicueta at the right wing back role at the start? I mean, I'm surprised about that. If you're playing Reece James, I thought he's starting at that right wing back role, because you know how good he is. Don't get me wrong. I mean, don't say Aspie. He's a proven Premier League centre back. He's shown it in the Premier League. He can match up with the best. So just because in this one game you're playing Vardy, you're going to change that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticising Tuchel here. Only him. Every single player, every single coaching staff, the entire club was poor today. I'm not saying just one person. Everyone was poor. It was just not our day. It's just we just can't seem to finish off games or just score goals. That's our main weakness. We're solid at the back. Great. Our midfield's compact. We got Kante running the show. We got, Jorginho there. We got Kovacic there sometimes. Yeah. But the front three, who's gonna be that player that's gonna grab the game and just, say, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna score the goal. I'm gonna get us out of this situation. There is no player in that front line that's gonna do that. And that's why I've been screaming for this season when it started. We need a striker. We need a striker. We need someone who can score goals. Werner is not a striker for me, and I don't think he will ever be. In my opinion, he's that type of guy who stays on the left, comes in. He's not a number 9 for me. Havertz, if people are still saying that Havertz will be the false 9 and will be the solution for the long term ahead in the future, no. We need a vocal point. We need that guy who's that number 9. Where's Tammy Abraham? Where is he? Not even in the squad.
But do you think whether we played Tammy today or not would have made a difference?
It might have not, but you've got a vocal where you got a guy who can score goals. The Tammy Abraham's no scrub. He can score goals. He sometimes can't step up. I mean, you saw that game. I think let me go back under Lampard when we played Arsenal at the Emirates. When we were down 1-0, Jorginho got the header from the corner and scored. And then who scored the last goal? Tammy Abraham. Got us a massive 3 points in that game. He's been our top scorer in all competitions, I think, this season. So
he isn't anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? The guy, he knows where the back of the net is. So
yeah,
it's just, I mean, even Olivier Giroud, I mean, why are you bringing him on like at the, 80-something odd minute? What's that for?
I think Giroud's a bit of a waste man, but that's just me.
Well, to be honest with you, I just don't know. I mean, some of these substitutions were just too late. I mean, you saw when Pulisic came on, the spark that he gave, the dribbling, taking people on and stuff like that. Ziyech wasn't doing that. Werner wasn't doing that. And neither was Mount. As much as I love Mount, he was poor today. You can't really, praise, your favorite players every time. You can't. I mean, I love Mount, but I just don't think he was brilliant, and I think he had a poor game. He hasn't, ever since that Madrid game, we just haven't seen the best of Mount. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was rested for the City game, which Tuchel was looking at because he wanted him to, play the final, against possibly, and just, rest him up and just don't, get him injured and stuff like that. I get that. But some of these players say, oh, Mount for Ballon d'Or, Mount for, player of the season. Don't get me wrong, he's been brilliant this season. Don't get me wrong, he's been brilliant. But big games, where are you? You need some of these players, who've been in this is Mount's second FA Cup final. This is Reece James' second FA Cup final, like you were saying. This is some of these players, their second final. What's changed? I mean, the only thing that's changed is the manager.
Yeah.
So
it's a tough one, really. It's a tough one. I do need to cut you short a little bit. I do apologize because we have a fair few people waiting, and I do need to get this wrapped up because it's rather late. Any other last thoughts you want to share in terms of maybe some positivity for the last 3 games?
Well, the only positive today will be that West Ham dropped points. That's the only positive I'm looking at. And obviously, that Tuesday game now, which was a win, has to be a must win. Well,
arguably it was a must win regardless, but yeah.
But if we do not now win that game on Tuesday, I'm sorry. I just don't think we'll get top 4 because Liverpool are right now on our tail. And
Liverpool have an easy run in as well with
exactly.
West Brom, Burnley and Palace.
Exactly. So, definitely, man, must win. And, let's hopefully we can do the job on Tuesday. And I won't be able to come on here after that game and, moan about Chelsea.
Exactly, bro. Well, Zion, I appreciate you coming on. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll now get Ibrahim on. Cheers, mate.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yes, man. How you doing, Ibrahim?
Laurenz.
I hope I said your name correctly, by the way.
Yeah, you said it right, man. You said it right. But
there you go.
Still just about got over it today. Literally, that VAR just took me over the edge. I've never, ever been that angry after a decision because it was a 90th minute decision. But for me, I thought VAR weren't working up until that point. And I thought okay, maybe it's FA Cup. They turned it, oh my God, they turned it off. I just seen a knockout. Yeah. But yeah, with regards to, the lineup, let's start with the lineup. Did I agree with it? Somewhat, yes, because the idea of a cup goalkeeper going all the way up into the final is a common thing that's been going on for quite some time. I think Arsenal did it when they won the FA Cup against us. They had Martinez in goal. I think I might be wrong. But
wasn't Leno injured at the time? I don't know, to be honest.
No, I think they split it. So they had Martinez in goal and had Leno for the league games. And what they did, they split up.
It's definitely a common thing, that's for sure. I mean, Stefan played for Man City. I mean, bloody Barcelona played the Champions League and League, two separate goalkeepers.
Exactly. So that kind of thing is a common thing. So I can't get mad at Tuchel for doing it. Okay. The Reece James at centre back, for me, I agreed with it because it's the same idea as a Kyle Walker at right centre back. He can intercept fast runners with Vardy. The thing is, he's got very good timing. He's barely ever offside. He's literally just going bang and then he's through a goal 1-on-1. If you've got Reece James in that position, he'll be able to catch up with him and, intercept the play. So that's fine. Alonso, I understand it to an extent because Chilwell, I understand that Chilwell wanted to play against against Leicester, and that would have been great for him to beat Leicester. But then again, Leicester also understand him and his weaknesses as well. Okay, so they understand where to exploit Ben Chilwell more than a lot of other clubs in the Premier League. So that, in Thomas Tuchel's eyes, is a precaution. Okay, let's play offensively. Let's play with Alonso. Defensively, we're pretty solid, so we can kind of get away with it with Alonso. For me, where I think we've lost it was the midfield. They had Yuri Tielemans and Ndidi. We had Jorginho and Nkante. For me, their midfield was a lot it was a lot more convincing, a lot more confident for them to win. Even earlier in the first half, they were right on top of us. They were literally pushing us back. I think that was for the first 60 minutes. They were really pushing us back in our own half, and we were struggling to play it out. We were struggling to, get it out of our own half to begin with. The goal came. A lot of people will say, look, like in the lead up of the game, in the lead up of the goal, one of their players handballed it in that process. For me, if we beat Man City 2-0, why are we relying on referee minute decisions for us to win it? Ideally, if we beat Man City 2-0, by default, we should be beating Leicester 2-0 minimum. The fact that we didn't even score one goal and we're relying upon each, these little individual individual moments. Okay, let's say he handballed it. Okay, on the way to running up on the goal, he then reset the play. It was not like he handballed it. He touched it and he took a shot. There was a lot in that period of time in the process. So devastating. And that was on the 60th minute, or was it? Yeah, early 60th minute. What were we doing for the first 60 minutes? What were we doing for the first half? We can't let they score. If we scored 2 goals in the first half, we would have been 2-1 up at that point in period of time. We would have been 2-1 up. Okay. I understand what a lot of people saying about Kepa being in goal. For me, look, with Kepa, he's built up a reputation where he's made a lot of poor mistakes. And when you have a reputation like that, people will be taking shots at you. We'll see a lot of people know this in whether you play Sunday League. Look, that goalkeeper is rubbish. Fire shots at him as much as possible. So that's exactly what they did. But Yuri Tielemans has been known from scoring outside of the box. So why wasn't he closed down a lot sooner?
That is true. Let me ask you this: the super chat from Rashan here says, so Thiago Silva's handball is given as a Leicester City free kick, but Leicester City's goal stands even though the ball hits Perez's hand in the same way. #waste. How do you feel about that? Do you think there should be a handball should have been called, or because it obviously hit his arm from the thigh, which is the difference, by the way, between Thiago Silva's handball that didn't hit a different body part of Thiago Silva first?
Yeah.
Which is the difference. But how did you see that handball in the build up to the goal?
I don't know the rules. For me, if it hits your knee and then it hits your arm, I can't really see that's a handball. The same way if I blast at somebody's arm, just because it hit it, doesn't mean it's a handball. However, I don't know what the rules specifically state. Now, if the rules say it's a handball, I don't know if VAR even checked it. That's another thing. I could be wrong. Maybe they didn't check it. But to my understanding, I think it was just brushed aside. but that was like what 60 minutes. We still had enough time to score one goal at least. We had still enough time to score one goal, and our goal came from an offside decision. Like, was he offside? Yeah, but I don't agree with that. This offside rule where you have to, like, your whole body has to be behind the line. I think they have to let it play, and the part that you've scored with, let's say if it's your head or your foot, if that part is offside, therefore you're offside, or at least it has to be with your head or anywhere within your leg has to be offside. But it's a sad state of affairs. For me, a lot of people are saying about Mount and something, but Pulisic for me, Pulisic and Jorginho are individuals for me that slow the play down. They don't speed it up. When I watch them, they hold the ball. Pulisic tried to dribble a couple of times, but he's taken 2 or 3 touches. They've really reset it, and we've already slowed the game down. Jorginho is the same case. Touches the ball, takes too many touches on the ball, and then he's very like sideways. But Werner is like, with Werner and Ziyech, very poor as well. Mount was also poor. I think we lost it in the midfield and the attack. Going forward, I think we need to recruit a very, very good striker and a very good midfielder, a playmaking midfielder, like I said, Fabregas-esque, to basically play deep line balls often. But we need to win the next 2 games against Leicester.
That's fair enough. And with that, as the last question, how do you feel now ahead of the last 3 games? Obviously against Leicester, Aston Villa, and of course the big one, the Champions League final against Man City. Do you think today's result will have much of an effect on that, or do you think it's mostly about Tuesday? If we can bounce back on Tuesday, we're going to be fine? Or how do you see it?
I'd like to think that we bounce back on Tuesday, but we lost our last game. And did we bounce back today? No. So on Tuesday, I expect us to come back. I expect us to do. It's difficult because we've never played a Champions League final. To my understanding, never played a Champions League final midway through a season or where there's Premier League games left over. So the idea of bouncing, the FA Cup final. So the idea of bouncing back after that sort of final is abnormal to myself. But could we beat Leicester? Yes. We to be fair, I expect us to beat Leicester. I think we can beat Leicester, and I think we'll get into the top 4. If we win our next 2 games convincingly, that's enough momentum. You don't need any more momentum into getting into Man City. Now, for me, in my opinion, I think the Champions League final or the Champions League, we'll step up a lot more than the FA Cup. Even in the Man City game in the FA Cup, we weren't really that great compared to our Champions League games against Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. That was our best sort of games within the Champions League. So I think that we could win the next 2 games, and I think we'll get into the top 4 convincingly. However, the Man City game, we can't. I think what to my understanding, the FA Cup in this day and age isn't as respected as it was before, and I think that's translated towards the players, and therefore the intensity has dropped to an extent that they didn't put 100% into this game. The Champions League, on the other hand, is the holy grail. That's bigger than the Premier League. That's bigger than all of the other trophies in Europe. So, a lot of our squad is European. So I expect them to be at 100% top notch during that game. For me, I would drop Timo Werner, and I'll play Tammy Abraham during that game. Timo Werner, he's very good, but we've given him too many chances compared to Tammy Abraham. I think if Tammy Abraham was playing, the amount of chances that he would have got, he would have scored a lot more goals. So I want Tammy Abraham to score, and onwards and upwards. We can win the Champions League, guys. Next 2 games will be in top 4. We'll win the Champions League, guys. Chin up. It's another L. But we need to next year. We need to win the FA Cup, and that's something that I don't care what happens next year. Premier League, Champions League, the FA Cup, we should be whooping everyone else in that end. So onwards and upwards, guys. Chin up. Let's head on to Tuesday and let's smash Leicester up 4-0. Let's go.
Brilliant, Ibrahim. Cheers for the positivity. I think we all needed it, and I'll talk to you soon, bro.
Come on.
Nippon, are you ready? Are you ready? I hope you're ready, because currently I don't have your face on camera properly. There you are. Nippon, first of all, how are you?
Broken and happy at the same time.
Yeah,
But
I hear
mostly
you. I hear you.
broken. Happy because my Scottish team are Rangers and they've gone invincible. So make of that Arsenal what you will. I know it's Scotland, but they've still gone invincible.
Fair play, Rangers.
Mostly broken because of what happened tonight, obviously. Congratulations to Leicester. It just proves that in football, anything is possible. Winning the Premier League in 2016, Wigan winning the FA Cup in 2013, and Leicester winning it today. It just proves that everything's possible. I'm not going to sit here and sulk about VAR. I'm just here to, praise the beautiful game.
But almost a more important question. Did you enjoy dinner?
Yeah, this is my dessert.
Well, did you enjoy dessert then?
Yep. It's a clean slate.
Good, very good.
Which means I
Let me ask
enjoyed
you, what did you think of the lineup when it was initially released? Alonso starting, Kepa starting. What did you make of that?
I knew Kepa was going to start, and I was against it from the start. Yeah, I know it's like a cup goal league competition, but I'm like, no, you play your strongest team in a final.
Yeah, go on.
And yeah, that's something we didn't do, and we paid the price for it.
It's true. What about Alonso? Did that surprise you that he started over Chilwell?
I'm baffled he started over Chilwell.
Fair enough. And I mean, I know you said you don't want to sit here and blame VAR, but how did you see, especially the handball situation? I'm sure you've seen it back by now. Do you think the goal should have been disallowed for that handball, or do you think it's a fair enough decision?
Look, I don't want to. If I say it should have been disallowed, I'll sound biased. So I don't want to sound
we're
biased.
only Chelsea fans here. You can say what you want, mate. Well, not quite what you want, but
Yeah, look, it should have been disallowed. Ben Chilwell was not offside, but overall we weren't clinical enough, and that's what cost us today. Not VAR, not the handball that was allowed. It's that we weren't clinical enough today. And fair play to Leicester City.
Fair enough. I think it's a really tough one. Like, how do you see it for the last 3 games then? Obviously now today is a bad day, we know that. But at the end of the day, I suppose we have to move on and get a really important win on Tuesday, don't we?
I want to win those 2 last games more than anything, so that Arsenal fans do not get the satisfaction that Arteta broke Tuchel.
Good point. Very good point. I think we all hope that. I mean, hey, Arsenal fans will claim anything they can anyway because they don't win anything themselves. So,
Look, North London is dead, mate. London is
It's not
dead.
red, it's not white, it's just dead. I agree.
It's dead. Shit.
There you go. I saw you was at the Spurs protest as well today.
I was interviewing a few Spurs fans. When it comes to protesting against corruption, rivalry goes up the window. I mean, we can hate them as much as we want, but that's banter. When it comes to the greater good against corruption, we're all in it together.
It's true. That is very, very true. Nipun, do you have any last words before I get it going here to, I don't actually know his name, the pundit box. Before I get onto him, do you have any last words you want to share about today or whatever you have to share, mate?
We move. Let's just hope we boost our... Look, we have 2 weeks left to boost our morale for the big game, the actual big game. Not what happened today, the Champions League final. We have to boost our morale. They're asking me to leave, so I'm in vlog mode. So yeah, they have 2 weeks to boost morale.
And I think if we keep our minds, like, the players weren't in it today. Let's be real, Laurenz. They were focused. Their heads were in Porto. They were focusing on Porto.
But on Wednesday after Arsenal, we said they were focusing on the FA Cup final. And today we're saying they're focusing on Porto. Why can't they just focus on the day?
Of course. Which is why I want a strong team. I want to see a full-strength team against not the rematch per se, but the league game against Leicester and the league game against Villa. And I'd be baffled if he doesn't play a full-strength team in Porto.
Well, obviously. There you go. Nippon, I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate it a lot. I hope you have a good evening, my friend. Get home safely.
I'll see you in the next call-in show, man.
Exactly. Take care, bro. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
And to get the next guest on, I'm not sure. Do you just want me to call you the Pundit Box, or do you have a nickname, or do you have a name?
Nah,
do you want to go there, bro?
I come on here all the time, man. I'm Tyrese, man. I'm usually used to Lewis a lot, man. But
I know. Of course.
Yeah.
Tyrese. First of all, good to speak to you. How you doing?
Bro.
It's been a tough day, hasn't it?
Really tough day, difficult, really, really hard one to take there. But I have to say, Leicester as a team deserved it, but those VAR calls, man. I think it was handball for the Tielemans goal. I also thought that was not offside, because if you look at the lines again, it doesn't make sense we complain about refs every year and for so many years. When is someone is gonna actually take initiative and go to these refs, go to the FA and submit a solid request for a change of the panel of these refs, man. We won the Premier League. The last season Jose won the Premier in 2015.
Yeah.
John Moss was refereeing 6 years ago. Why is he still here? I mean, he obviously didn't referee today, but that's just an example of what I'm trying to say.
Aspie is also still here, and he played 6 years ago.
But bro, I don't care. These refs need to be. If there's so many complaints for them over the years, why can't they be changed, man? The FA needs to seriously look into it. It is so annoying, but I'm not pinpointing it today's loss on no refs because we were awful. We were actually awful. I do think that we weren't in the game. We were trying. Leicester defended really well. I'll have to give them that really well. Our attack today. It proves that our attack isn't great. We all know this because in the final third we've been shocking for the past the whole season. Actually, we've been terrible in the final third, and it's just not improving, man. I don't know, what's the problem with these guys? Some of these guys, they're afraid of taking a shot, but it's not good enough, man. Ibrahim, I think it was Ibrahim that was on earlier. I agree with most things he said, except for the part when he said Pulisic slows us down. But let me just really analyze the game now. I don't agree with that Pulisic part, but I'm going to analyze the game now. When I first saw the lineup, I wasn't impressed. Why was Alonso starting?
By what part of the lineup specifically, bro?
Goalkeeper, Alonso, Ziyech. I wanted Pulisic to start.
Okay.
I think Ziyech is a good player. I rate Ziyech. I think he's a good player, but I prefer Pulisic, especially in a final like this because he's direct. He'll be more involved. He has a lot of pace. He can dribble really well. Something that Ziyech doesn't do. Ziyech can pass really well, and he has a good pass on him. But today he was awful, absolutely awful, dog shit. The goalkeeper Kepa, I don't blame Kepa. You can't be tall. You can't always be tall. You're not born. You're not. Oh, exactly. You're not born. You're not. You can't be. You can't always be born tall. You're born a certain.
It's like blaming Jorginho for being slow. What's he gonna do about it?
Nah, but I'm gonna get into Jorginho and Justin because he isn't gonna get a free ride either. Kepa. Kepa. Apart from that, he couldn't do anything about that. Mendy, if he was playing for his height, I made that save. That would have been a fantastic save. I tell you what. 100%. But Like, no, not many keepers can stop that in world football. Probably Courtois, probably Mendy, if they could get a good arm to it. Probably Neuer, probably, because they're big, tall goalkeepers that could probably get their hand to it. But come on, no, like, just give Kepa a chance. I know he's not a good goalkeeper at all. He's terrible, but this season has been okay. In the cup games we've played, he has actually been good, actually. And today, I can't blame him for anything. It was just an awful performance, bro. Like, we defended well. Then it was a wonder goal from Tielemans, but like, dissecting into the performance, like, the two players that frustrated me the most was Jorginho and Alonso. Timo Werner was also very poor. He should have put I can't remember what it was that was running in behind that he should have put in. He should have passed. His shooting was awful. Like I think it was Mount. Shooting was awful like usual. But like man, Timo Werner was making runs. He was poor today. He didn't do anything apart from making those runs that we needed. But he was still poor. He was still very poor, man. But getting into Alonso, like, where is Alonso still at Chelsea? We've been crying about Alonso now for 2 years now, 3 years, 2 years now, yeah, 2 years now. We've been saying Alonso is not good enough. 2 years later, he's still here. Jorginho, look, from the time Jorginho came to Chelsea and we were playing sorry, but I never liked Jorginho. I was never a fan of him. I always said a player like him is not for the Premier League. He's too slow. He's too weak. He's not built for English football. I've always been saying this. He's too weak. He's too slow, especially with a league that's so high intense and so quick, and a lot of physical players are in the Premier League. Today he was being manhandled. When he was pressed, he was giving away the ball when he was ready. His pass was actually pretty good in the first half. I'll give him that, but in the second half, he was just awful. He was just too indecisive with the pass. He was taking too long to make the right pass. He's just like passing it sideways, passing it backwards. He's not trying to penetrate through the middle like any proper midfielder. And that's because he doesn't have the legs to run up and to make a proper through ball to anyone, man. Come on. Not good enough, man. Like, I've never been a fan of Jorginho. I gave him a chance this season. I actually think he's been pretty good this season. I give him that. But I was never a fan of him. But today shows that a lot of these French players that we have, like Kepa, although I don't think that he's to blame for the goal, Kepa, Alonso, Jorginho, even all these players, all these duds have to go, man. Like, these are players that let us know. Alonso was, oh, Jesus. What did Alonso do today?
Bro, be slow and be useless. That's what he always does.
So slow. Like, I understand. The thing is, I didn't agree with Alonso starting, but then I remember Chilwell played for Leicester. This is a team that knows all of his weaknesses, and they could have exploited that. And
yeah, but
it could have let us down.
Every idiot knows how to exploit Alonso. So
if he wanted to do that, I don't know what. Christensen was on the bench today.
No, he wasn't.
No. Mm-mm. Like, if Christensen was fit, I wish he was fit. If he was fit today, he what I would have done, if he didn't want to play Chilwell, he could have played Aspie there and then put Reece James at right wing back and then put Christensen in the back three. I would prefer that, honestly. I would put Aspie at left wing back and put Reece James on the other side because it's better than Alonso, man. Like, to me, Alonso's time is over. He gave us 2 good seasons underneath Conte in that wing back system, and even though we have to rely on him in this system, he ain't even performing, man. Like, no, he's useless. He's slow. It's just. I've been stressing about this man for too long now, man. He can't defend. He can't run. Okay, he could shoot, but to me, Alonso to me, he slows down our football. I've been saying this for a long time. Like, I really only realized that. Actually, not for a long time. I really only realized that the reason that some of our attacks coming out La France is so slow and sometimes they don't even happen is because of him. Like, I remember we played Brighton the day when they had a protest and it was 0-0. I blame a lot. Like, Alonso was awful in that game. The 0-0.
Did he play? I can't even remember. Did he play?
He played. Yes, he played that day, and he was awful. And he was very slow with the ball, man. But
let me get you to give like a last kind of try and spin it like in a slightly positive way so I can
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
last 3 guys on because I really need to
No problem,
finish
bro.
this up here today. So for the
Yeah.
last 3 games, today it was awful, right? We know that.
Yeah, shocking.
But do you think we can turn this around to still finish? Like, obviously, we wanted to win the FA Cup. We all wanted to win the FA Cup. But
Yeah.
if we win, well, to be honest, if we win the Champions League, it doesn't even matter if we make top 4. But if we win the Champions League and get top 4, none of us will really care about having lost today anymore. Do you think we can still make that happen?
Yeah, honestly, if I look at it today, yeah, like this wasn't our strongest 11, and the players that were playing, like Alonso, that is so slow, Jorginho, that is so slow. These 2 players to me is the reason why we weren't quicker with the ball today. Like if Kovacic was in that midfield, he's press resistant, so he could have beat the press from Ndidi and Tielemans better, and he could have even drive forward the ball and get it forward to the forwards, and it would have been different today because he's not, his final ball isn't the greatest Kovacic, but at least he gets up to the top of the pitch, man. Like, Jorginho is so slow, he can't even run. Alonso, he did nothing. He didn't even have proper opportunities to get forward and across the ball. That is how terrible he was today. Yeah, did he put it across today? No, I don't even think so. He's so slow, man. So being positive, I think we could turn around. Leicester on Tuesday, that's a must win. And I want 3 goals from Chelsea. We have to show up there with heart, especially.
Who cares though? Like, we just need a dub. It doesn't matter how many you score.
VAR robbed us today. In a little bit, but we still weren't good enough. But I want a pamming of Leicester on Tuesday. I don't think top 4 is never a doubt for me. The Champions League final, I actually think we could win that because the way how Rodgers set up today, it was a negative approach. He defended well, and then he got the 1 goal and just defended for the rest of the game, which he probably realized from the Arsenal game that's probably how he can get the best to get at Chelsea. I don't know if he was going to do it if he didn't see us lose at Arsenal, but
I think the big problem was just that we didn't score early. Like, if we score the first goal, they won't sit back because they need to come at us, and then we beat them 2-3-0. That's always the problem. If we don't get a goal, that's always the problem. But Tyrese, I really do appreciate you coming on. Appreciate it. Have a good evening, and
I'm gonna
talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, bro. I'm just gonna finish off and say, I think we're gonna bounce back in the Champions League final, hopefully. And on for the Champions League final, up the shot.
Brilliant. Cheers. Take care, man.
Yeah, later.
So, Ellie, David,
hey, Laurenz,
Doug Marby, I hope you guys are doing very well. I do have to wrap this up fairly quickly. So because of that, but I do still want to get all of you guys involved quickly. Otherwise, it will be very rude. You sat there waiting and I can't get you involved. So how about, and I know it's tough, but how about you give me a 3-sentence review of what your feelings are right now, and then we can wrap this up. Because I saw you first in that line, Ellie. Why don't you start?
I'm devastated, Laurenz. I was happy with that the fans were back and all that, but I'm really devastated. I just want to say, is there favoritism at Chelsea, Laurenz? Because Havertz and Werner play poor basically every couple of games. And then they keep on starting, while Abraham doesn't get a chance. Even Giroud, I know you don't like Giroud. I don't really rate Giroud, but he also doesn't get a chance. It doesn't start games. So
I think Tammy is such a weird one for me, because if we know we won't start Tammy next season and Tammy won't sign a new contract, why would you almost waste game time on developing him when you could spend it on developing Kai Havertz, for example?
Because Havertz at the moment, like Havertz might be world class in the future, but Havertz at the moment isn't performing. Like he has some good moments, but he's not scoring goals. And he's playing as a false 9. He's playing basically as a striker. So his job is to score.
Tammy's not going to be a Tammy has no hold up. In this system, it wouldn't work. It just
I get that. But
remember how against Atletico, it seemed like Suarez was always isolated and like he just couldn't get any movement.
I get that, but right now, I would trust Tammy to score more than Werner.
He wouldn't get in those positions. He doesn't have the movement to do it. He doesn't have the balance. He doesn't have the hold-up play. He has nothing that would help in that system. In that system, he has no attributes that would contribute to our team. We don't put that many crosses into the ball anyway, and he doesn't have any heading ability. There is nothing he would contribute into that system. But that wasn't even the problem today. Today, the problem was fully on Tuchel. He messed up. He I don't know if it was whether he thought that top four was better, or maybe he wanted to. I mean, that's the only explanation I can give him, to be honest, because other than that, he messed up. There's no excuse for Kepa to be starting this game. I said
Why are you blaming Kepa? Kepa didn't do anything
wrong. I'm not blaming him. This is the craziest part. I'm not blaming him, because if I was to blame him, he would have had to make a mistake. All right.
But the reason why Chelsea didn't win,
I'm not blaming him. The point of the matter is, look at where the ball is and look at where Kepa's hands are. Right. I understand he cannot reach it. I get it. He can't reach it. Edouard Mendy can. He simply has the extra. By the way, Edouard Mendy has 4 inches on Kepa. 4 whole inches, if not more. So you can't
probably even more on the arms, because man's got long arms.
You can't tell me he wouldn't get there. So simply put, Tuchel got the lineup wrong, and it cost us, in my opinion.
Look,
David.
I cannot tell you if he saves it or not, because I can't predict what happened. But what I know is this was a world-class goal, and Kepa was in goal, and Kepa didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. I agree with you. But at the end of the day, Kepa should have never been in that situation. He's not our number one for a reason. This was a cup final.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, personally, I think you can't really say what Dagmawi is saying is necessarily wrong, because there is a good chance Mendy saves it. In my opinion, there is a good chance Tielemans doesn't even shoot if Mendy is in goal, because Mendy is in goal, right? Can you then... Is that Tuchel's fault in a way? Yes, but it's also understandable, because the reasoning why Kepa started made sense. He's the cup goalkeeper that took us there, so it's fair that he starts the game. I more disagreed with him starting against Arsenal, personally. For me, it's the Alonso one. But David, you wanted to interject. What were your reasons for why things went badly tonight, shall we say?
I think the reason why is because Chelsea were flat, and Chelsea are not clinical up front. It's just as simple as that. I think when you're in a final where you have created many chances and you can't take them, and your opposition takes them, it says a lot. I mean, if you look at the stats today, we dominated possession, but what did we do with that possession? We didn't make enough of that possession. It's just simple as. It's just the story of Chelsea season. I mean, I don't understand. It shows that Tuchel doesn't really fancy, Olivier Giroud. But then at the same time, it's like, you got Tammy Abraham. He's been left out, but he's our highest goal scorer. And then you have a guy like Timo Werner, who's up top, who contributes in many ways to the speed of the team and in terms of maybe possibly like running in behind, but he's not as clinical and doesn't have the decision-making that we all need in the final third. So it could be the case where the club would need to go into the transfer window, possibly again to get a striker that could fit into that system. But apart from Haaland, who do you get? I mean, you could get Lukaku. I mean, that's a good shot. I think he will suit well in that team. But would he want to leave Inter Milan to Chelsea?
It depends.
Would he be forced to leave Inter Milan? Because I'm not sure if you heard, but they are in so much financial trouble. They literally ask players to take a pay cut. So, Inter Milan might just have to say.
Yeah, but it's fully. Look, I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I had a hope of winning the Champions League, right? But I had faith in the team to win the FA Cup. I thought that this was the one that we would be able to get. And the other one was more of not a pipe dream per se, but, just one of those, if you really, put your hearts in your hands, maybe you'll get it. But it just hasn't come out that way. And look, this is in no way, shape, or form saying, Tuchel out or anything. I still back the man with, he's done better than I'm pretty sure anyone else could have. So I have nothing against the man. I'm pretty sure after we get this summer transfer window done, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get the reinforcements that he needs and make the push next year. But if we're going to come out of this without any cups, I'm going to be a little disappointed in the sense of I was let down by the team, but not in a sense of because I genuinely don't this one I get. We didn't have our first team out there. If we look at the way that our offense has been the most potent, we've had Kai Havertz, we've had either Pulisic, Mount, or Werner in our front three. And we just didn't have that today. We didn't have that against Arsenal. Just any of the games that we've lost, and it looked like we haven't been able to create anything.
Wait, but which front three did we have in those games you said?
No, I'm saying we didn't have it against Arsenal and
No, I know, but what is the best front three in your opinion? You said.
In my opinion, I think it's Kai Havertz is the false nine or striker role, whichever one they want to put him at, and then Werner on the left, and then either Mount on the right or Pulisic on the right, whichever one. Most of the time, Mount starts, and then Pulisic comes on for whoever in that lineup. But I feel like that's our most potent offense, and that's the one that's created the most chances, and we haven't even seen it. And the fact that we didn't see it in the cup final, that's the thing that's blowing my mind, and that's why I'm saying the main problem today, or the main reason we lost today, was the team sheet.
But the main reason why Kai Havertz didn't start today is because of how dreadful he was against Arsenal. So, it all swings around.
Again, but I fully believe that if you're going to have Kai Havertz playing, you need to have Werner in that role where he can just drag the defense down, and that would allow Kai Havertz to occupy the spaces that we say. But the problem with Arsenal was they got that goal quick. They got that goal in like the 30th minute. After that, they just sat back. They did nothing else. So, against Arsenal, that was like an outlier in my mind because we basically played the game down 1-0 the entire time.
Well, I mean, we had a sitter to literally Havertz had a sitter to put us 1-0 up before. But let me quickly let Ellie and David just say another one or two words before we leave it off here, because I'm sorry, guys, and I know Rajib is in the waiting room already, but I really do need to cut it off. I am a bit strapped for time. So, Ellie, a couple of last words. Do you think, and try to obviously add what you just wanted to say as well, but I don't know. Do you have any positive hopes for the last few games, or is this almost like ruining everything right now?
I think we will finish top 4.
Yeah.
Because it's unacceptable to lose to Leicester in 3 days, twice.
Yeah.
And not beat Villa. We should finish in the top 4.
Yes.
As much as I love Chelsea, I don't think we have the right to win the Champions League. You know why? Because for me, look, in my opinion, the Champions League is the biggest club tournament you can win. And to win the Champions League, in my eyes, you should win your league first. That's in my eyes. Like, Man City are champions of England. They can be champions of Europe.
So, in 2012, we didn't deserve to win the Champions League?
Look, Laurenz, I loved it. You know, I'm not going to... Look, I loved it. I'm not...
You know what I mean, bro, right? You get me.
No, I know what I mean. We don't have the right, but if we do it, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, ideally, you would like to win the league first, then win the Champions League.
Of course, but that's why it's so difficult. Like that's why it's rare. Like, you know how many times Real Madrid win the Champions League? They barely win the league ever.
No, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I also gotta say, put respect on Leicester's name. Like, everyone says about Big Six. For me, it's a Big 7, and Leicester are in it.
For me, it's a Big 5, and Tottenham and Arsenal are not in it.
Yeah. Look, I agree with what you mean, Ellie, but today they were out there. No. We had 60% possession. No, they were not.
It doesn't matter how much possession you have. We won the Big 6 team.
In a sense of, look, it took a...
No, bro. It's not about having 60% possession. That's irrelevant.
Yeah,
but quickly, because honestly, I'm super sorry that I'm cutting you guys short. Ellie, just finish your point, and then I'll go to David, and then I need to cut this out.
I just want to say, as much as I hate Tottenham and Arsenal are the only team that went unbeaten. As much as we hate it, as much as we want to do it.
Yeah, but I mean,
and Tottenham were in the Champions League.
Nottingham Forest won the Champions League. That's not a top 6.
Yeah, but Forest are relegated. So if Arsenal get relegated, then I'll give you that.
All right, Villa won the Champions League.
They got. I don't know, but you
no, I get you. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I get you. Go on.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, hopefully we beat Leicester.
Say that again.
Saying hopefully we beat Leicester on Tuesday.
Hopefully it will be huge. David, a couple of last words. What are you saying?
I think we are good enough to finish in the top 4, but I think it just depends on the how the players perform in the last 2 games. I think if we're going to get top 4, I think we need to be flat during certain times of the games, and I think
100%.
we need to be more clinical up top, because I think it's going to cost us even more points if we don't do so. And I think as well, I would like to see a bit more stability in terms of the first team as well. Obviously, I can understand, you know, not everybody was in favor of the starting 11 today, but I would like a bit more consistency. You know, obviously the defense and the way we set up as a back three is fine in terms of the players that we have back there. But I think in terms of like up top in the front three, I would like a bit more consistency in terms of the lineup. And it would be nice for Tuchel to actually give Abraham and Giroud a bit of a go, you know, in these last 2 games, because I feel like their sort of presence will be needed, you know, up top and in terms of their link-up play. And I think also it will just gives Timo Werner a bit of time out of the firing line up top, because I don't think he's good enough at this moment in time to lead the line. I think he's more, you know, in a supportive role in one of the 2 behind the striker, but we'll just have to wait and see, man.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I do appreciate all of you guys for coming on. I'm again really sorry that I had to cut you short. I do feel really bad, but I do have to stop this now, ladies and gentlemen. If you have been tuning in today, I really do appreciate all of you guys. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. Make sure you smash that like button. If you're a Chelsea fan, smash that like button to cheer us up a little bit. And if you're an Arsenal fan, Leicester fan, whatever you are, I don't know, cheer us up as well, because you're humans and you want to have other humans be happy. I don't know. Smash the like button for that reason, I suppose. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Check out the One Football app, to which the link is in the second line of the description. Subscribe to my personal channel, to which the link is in one of the first few lines of the description anyway. Like it says here, just my name. Just click it at Laurenz Vescoli. I've just hit 10K, but we're not stopping there. Let's get more subscribers than that. So if you fancy that, check that channel out. Thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, and I'll see you when I see you.